So this is Arborneck's attempt to replicate the Game Boy Advance SP, and they did it better than anybody. I had a POW Kitty device before this that I thought was pretty cool, but this is better. I mean, look at everything this can play, and it's actually been tweaked. RetroArch has been adapted to run stuff really well and have a lot of like filters and adjustments made that make it a great system. Going around the system, we have micro HDMI out, power reset, we have 2 SD cards and a headphone jack, we have a volume button system, and yeah, I put a Game Boy Advance sticker on the back of it. Also an extra trigger. The appeal of this thing is that it's a clamshell. You can adjust this angle so you can play it in bed, or you can just completely close it to keep it protected. And I have handhelds with a similar chipset, but this one is already set up to run everything pretty well. I mean, Mario has some weird stuff going on with his polygons being shaded incorrectly, but it still runs and plays just fine. That's probably something you could adjust in RetroArch pretty quickly and fix, or just leave it. And you can get away with that D-pad playing Mario 64. It's not precise, and then you have to push that little trigger to change to the C buttons right there. So basically holding that trigger will allow you to push the C buttons as if they were those face buttons. And then we got Mario 64 DS, which was really cool, but having a D-pad game, and even if you use an analog stick, it's not designed to hit those diagonals, so it's kind of it's killed by the control. And man, don't you love the Dreamcast startup. This is so palatable, running just fine, no real graphical issue or anything wrong with it. So it's showing it can handle a pretty solid Dreamcast game. I would recommend getting a bunch of Dreamcast ISOs and trying them all out. This thing handles it pretty well. Random recommendation, but this is Dracula X for the PC Engine CD, and it's on the card I got at least. And I would recommend playing some DS on here, playing some Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. I think those systems kind of shine as far as it's just fun to play them on a SP that feels like it's been hacked and modded to do a lot of stuff it shouldn't be able to do. It's just a new console. And after messing around with what they have set up on RetroArch for Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Advance, I actually love the shaders and overlays they put on everything in that bezel. It really makes me feel like I'm playing a Game Boy. And I don't play much Game Boy, but this makes it funner. That little ghosting effect. Why not throw this in your pocket?